Our middle-aged Easter Bunny donned the riding gear for 4 days at Imbil and Kenilworth, land of hill climbs and a cool little house that catered for dirt riding blokes and chicks. We got there just after several days of torrential rain, so while some of our favourite spots were blocked by flooding, we looked forward to testing out the traction skills on many of the hill climbs which had turned to slippery clay. The first big climb was a tough one. Go for momentum, but the ruts would throw you offline. But if you plodded up, the tyres just turned into slicks as they packed up with clay. The 250 EXE didn't get up this one until the 5th attempt. And then Danny just flies up it on the old Kawasaki KDX 200 on his first and only attempt, showing you don't need a modern bike or a lot of CCs to get up tricky hills. There was the odd faster climb too without clay, although still plenty of ruts to make it interesting.
KDX 200, 200 cc's of raw throbbing power. Master of the hill climb.
And of course, at the top of most hills were spectacular views, one of the brilliant things about riding around Imbil. Anytime we got tired of climbs, there were always plenty of nice flowing trails, although still enough slippery clay and mud to keep us on our toes. One of the things we talked about over the weekend was how great it's been to learn new techniques over this past year. We just used to avoid anything technical or challenging and stuck to easy trails where we could just give the bike a big handful of throttle and get our thrills with a bit of wheel spin in a straight line. But we were so inspired by watching the extreme enduro riders like Jarvis and Walker that we got trials bikes and applied what Graham Jarvis said: if you want to ride better, slow down. Nowadays, instead of wham bam thank you ma'am, it's focusing on balance and throttle control, avoiding wheel spin or putting a foot down, and going out of our way to look for snotty stuff instead of sticking to the flat terrain. Obviously, we'll never get anywhere near the level of top riders, but the satisfaction of learning a new skill and conquering a hill you wouldn't have even attempted a year ago is awesome and very, very addictive stuff. You might remember a seemingly endless climb we did recently called Welcome to Belthorpe. This is a similar climb in Kenilworth, from the base to the top of the mountain range. awesome climb with a mix of terrain and slopes along the way. And the clay meant we had to be careful on the throttle or the rear wheel would just spin and lose traction. The old trials technique of squatting to the rear of the bike worked well here. It keeps the rear wheel weighted, but also keeps the weight low, so the bike is less likely to wheelie as the slope gets steeper. Then it was on to some other climbs. Sam and I had a crack at this rocky, rutted monster that kept losing too much momentum to get up a tricky little rock face in the middle. This rocky rutted climb had me beat too, but it was good for practicing paddling with the legs while standing on the pegs. The idea is to keep the rear wheel weighted and just use a leg to touch the ground when needed to keep balance, but maintain traction and momentum. To finish off a top Easter holiday of riding, we found this epic bit of slippery single track on the final day, twisting through the trees, over wet tree roots, through the pine forest. This is definitely one very happy Easter bunny. Thanks everyone for a great weekend.